You are listening to
the Outcast Frequency.
An hour of music, myth, and mayhem for the misfits. Hosted by yours truly,
the Master of Mischief.
Now on this show you can expect 3 regular segments: Chaos Corner, Lore Lockdown, and the Outcast Anthem. Sonic Scout is a globally streaming station, and we are connected with indie scenes all around the world. If you're an unsigned artist and you would like to be on this show, feel free to drop me an email, outcastfrequency@sonicscoutradio.com. You can also DM me on Instagram at Master of Mischief Official. Alright, let's dive straight into the music. We're going to kick things off with a band called Mindfield, and this is their 4th single of their upcoming debut album, An Atonement for Existence, and it's a track called Swine Before Pearls. Now, Minefield, which is, by the way, spelt in all capitals, M-I-N-D, with a colon and then field, is actually a solo project, and it's run by a guy out of Berlin in Germany, and all of the tracks were written, performed and recorded by him, except for the drums, and it was mixed by Tom Exer at LTMF Studios in Berlin. So as I mentioned before, that track we just played, Swine Before Pearls, is the fourth and final single from the upcoming debut album, An Atonement for Existence. Now that album is coming out very, very soon on September the 19th. So if you liked what you heard in that track, then please check out Minefield and maybe listen to the rest of the album. So you can follow them on Instagram at Minefield_music. Minefield_music. The project itself has been going since 2021, and they've released a series of EPs, 5 EPs over the course of that time, and this is now going to be their full-length debut album. And just taking a little gander at their press release, it says, with its debut album, Minefield shows the evolution of its sound, combining technical prowess with deep introspective themes and a multitude of new influences and techniques. This release promises to push the boundaries even further. The album uses a contrast between heavy and calm, mechanic and tribal to depict themes of artificial intelligence and mankind's dependency on it. Wow, that is a very current theme. I see people constantly talking about AI and things like that these days. So if you like the sound of that, do go check out Minefield at Minefield_music on Instagram, and of course they are on Spotify and all the other places that people stream music. Now, moving on, we are going to hear a track by a band called Claw the Thin Ice. Now, these guys are from Manchester in the UK. Shout out Manchester, because that was where I was born and raised, so I have a big connection with the city myself. I found these guys on Bandcamp. You can check out all of their albums there. They've actually been releasing stuff on Bandcamp since 2013, so this band have been going for a good while. They've put out 5 albums, 4 EPs and a compilation album, and they have a new full-length record which is coming out the 19th of September. That album is called Fever Dreamer, and we have an exclusive sneak preview today of one of the other tracks on the record. So this is Claw the Thin Ice with 10 out of 10 Secrets. That was 10 out of 10 Secrets by a band called Claw the Thin Ice from Manchester. Now, their 5th album is going to be out on the 19th of September. So if you liked what you heard there, please go check them out on Bandcamp. They also have an Instagram account, which is claw_the_thin ice. Claw_the_thin ice. So if you like what you heard there, go check them out and support that band. And now it's time for
Chaos Corner.
Chaos Corner is going to be one of our regular segments where we play some of the weirdest, most unusual tracks that we have discovered or found. Now, I'm actually taking listener submissions for this segment, so if you've heard something that's really weird, crazy out there, then please do send it in. Outcast Frequency at sonicscatradio.com, or you can message me on Instagram at Master of Mischief Official. So if you've heard a track which you think will be a good fit for Chaos Corner, please feel free to submit it to me. This week's Chaos Corner is coming from a band called Neccos For Breakfast. The track is called Tell Us How You Feel, insert name here. Neccos For Breakfast is a solo project ran by Necco Records, who is also the mastermind behind a website called CAN, Collaborative Artist Network. This is a really good website and a really good space for if you are any type of creative person. So an artist, a band, a graphic designer, a poet, a lyricist, anything vaguely creative, you can get involved on the Collaborative Artist Network. You can also join as a fan. You can find it online. It has its own website, can.streetteam.fm. They also have an Instagram account. The actual track itself is about mental health, which is obviously a super important thing to discuss and something that we all deal with. And the writer had this to say: "The last month has been a sustained crisis for me, just in time for Mental Health Month, and I've decided to share. Faced with crisis, I sat in my car and screamed out what words couldn't describe. Forgetting to pause after brainstorming lyrics, I accidentally recorded the screams and captured how I feel when I can't explain, and words sound smaller than the feeling. So I was like, you know what, let me share that, and I made a song with the screams that I screamed in my car. Maybe others will identify with that struggle and how bad it can be. They'll hear it and say, yeah, someone else feels like me." So on that note, here is Tell Us How You're Feeling by Neccos For Breakfast, and it is a pretty crazy, intense, out there song. It's only quite short, so stay with it. Enjoy.
Good morning. Insert name here. We will talk now. How are you feeling? How are you feeling? Describe it better. Now that you know you are better, be better. Insert name here. We know how you feel. I'm so glad we were able to work that all out. Insert name here. Get back to work. Let us assign your letters, and you can be on your way. Terrible. Terrible. So terrible. We are sorry. You are terrible. You are sick. Insert name here. We have talked. You are better.
That was Tell Us How You're Feeling by Neccos For Breakfast, as part of this week's Chaos Corner. As I mentioned before, I am taking submissions for Chaos Corner, so if you can think of any weird or crazy tracks you think I should have on the show, please do get in touch. It's time for this week's
Outcast Anthem.
This week's Outcast anthem comes from a band called Infina. The track itself is called Cashew. Infina are a rap metal, alt metal two-piece band based out of Austin, Texas. The two guys in the band, David and Sly, have been making music together since 2010. Previously, they leaned into a sort of new metal, aggressive rap and experimental type of vibe. But now they've been heading in a slightly different direction. It's a bit more industrial, it's got a sort of bit of a Manson Deftones vocals mixed with some Nine Inch Nails inspired music, and they've been using an 808 through a guitar amp to get some heavy distorted tones. So far they've released one song from the new EP with this new sound. That track is called Cashew, and it's about taking over the world by unleashing the real you. Show. That's strange. So let's give it a listen. This is Cashew by Infina. So with that respect, it's a very powerful, very uplifting kind of song, which really encourages people to tap into the truth of who they are. So it's certainly a rebellious anthem, which is why it's perfect for this show. So let's give it a listen. This is Cashew by Infina. That was Cashew by Infina. If you enjoyed that, you can check them out on Instagram. Their account is infina_reboot.mp3. infina_reboot.mp3. They've actually been building up quite an interesting world around their music recently as well. And when I spoke to David, who is one of the members of the group, he said, "Our world is built around the follow the bunny motif, a strange chaotic guide leading into cyberpunk-infused lore about destruction, recreation, and chasing curiosity into unknown worlds. Now, they've got lots of merch related to this bunny. They've got lots of logos and designs related to it. They have a really interesting website. They did a whole launch for their single. So they're a band who are doing some quite interesting things at the moment and are well worth checking out. David also runs a program for musicians who are looking to make music their full-time career, or at least are looking to make some sort of living from it. It's called the 1000 Club, and if you give David a message on the Infina account, he should be able to tell you more about that if you're interested in joining. I would recommend it. I'm a part of it myself. It's a fun little club, and we share our resources, we share ideas, we have calls, we collaborate with each other. We do little worksheets and tasks which help us to stay focused on our goals and what we want to achieve in music. So it is something I would recommend and something worth looking into if you are someone that takes your music seriously. But once again, that was Infina with their latest single, Caju. And if you liked what you heard, you can check them out on Instagram, infina_reboot.mp3. They also have a really cool website, like I mentioned before, which is infinaofficial.com. If you're just tuning in, this is the Outcast Frequency, hosted by me, the Master of Mischief. Now, this is my first ever show on Sonic Scout Radio, so I will be looking for submissions moving forward. If you are an artist or a band, or you know an artist or a band who you think might be a good fit for this show, please do email me, outcastfrequency@sonicscoutradio.com, or you can find me on Instagram at Master of Mischief Official. There is a small fee of $10 to be played on the show, but you will get 7 full days of airplay for that. And you only pay if you are selected, so there's no fee to actually submit your track. In terms of the type of music I'm looking for, anything in the alternative genre really, so anything with some nice guitars, emo, punk, goth, metal, pop punk, industrial. I do like music that blends sort of different styles and genres, because that's the type of stuff I make myself. So anything that sort of crosses genres. I like a bit of dark electronic stuff, so I'm definitely not opposed to playing electronic music on the show. In fact, I have an electronic track to play you right now. You're listening to
The Outcast Frequency.
Alright, so this is one of my own songs. I don't want to be playing my own music every week, so please do send me your music, and feel free to recommend me any bands you think might be a good fit. So don't worry, I'm not going to be making this all about myself. I only release music roughly once every 3 months, so you may occasionally hear a track from me, but this is one of my latest ones, and it will give you an idea about the type of thing that I like making, and therefore probably the type of thing that I'm going to be wanting to hear on the show as well. But I really do like all sorts of music, but I want to keep it alternative. You may actually recognise some parts of this track already, because I've cut them up and I've been using them as the sort of jingles to introduce different parts of the show. So you'll become very familiar with parts of that track, at least, as we move on through different episodes of this show. I may switch them up at some point, however, when I release new music and get bored of using that one as the jingle. It also has a guest appearance from an artist called Spectre Falling, who does a rap in the middle, and you can find him on Instagram. His account is _Spectre667_. And he releases music literally every week, which is insane to me, but he's always dropping tunes. So do go and give him a follow and check out his music too. He made a guest appearance on this track of mine, doing an awesome rap, which you can hear in the middle. So yeah, check it out and enjoy. This is by myself, the Master of Mischief, and it's called Reckless Hearts and False Starts. You're listening to
The Outcast Frequency.
hosted by the Master of Mischief. That's me. It's time for
Lore Lockdown.
Lore Lockdown is a deep dive into the hidden narratives, the myths, the conceptual worlds that artists are building around their music. So it's not just about the songs, it's about the universe that's being created behind them. Every week in Lore Lockdown, we will choose an artist and we will deep dive into that lore. This week's Lore Lockdown is coming from a band called Promethean. Now, if you're a fan of anonymous projects, which I clearly am, then you're going to absolutely love these guys. Now, they are on Instagram. Their Instagram account is Promethean Band, all one word. Their logo is a circle with 5 dots inside of it. Now, if you can imagine what a dice looks like, and if you can imagine what the 5 on a dice looks like, that's what their logo is, inside a circle. Now, every single post that they have on their Instagram is just that logo, over and over again. So already you've got this sort of intrigue and mystery and a sort of anonymity around the band. Now, the track that I'm about to play to you is called The Knife. So we're going to hear the song first, and then we're going to talk a little bit more about it. So this is The Knife by Promethean.
Close your eyes and go to sleep, my son. The sun is pouring in through your window. A wicked night, a wicked dawn. Why do you carry your head so low? If it's time to give it up, I trust you'll let me know. Trust you.
That was The Knife by Promethean, and as I said in my intro, they are a pretty mysterious band. Their logo is a circle with 5 dots inside, and this is a symbol which they use as part of their lore. They have a website, which is dscresearch.org, and their whole site is built around this thing called the DSC project. And just having a little read from their website, it says, though the DSC has no direct founder, our current head of operations is an individual who requests that he will only be referred to as Null. Now, Null is the person who I've been in contact with regards to the track being played on this show. And he was able to shed some light, at least, on the lore and, as he referred to it, the theology behind this project and this band. Now, it's all about dreams. That's where it all stems from. He said the dominion of the deity of this theology is that of dreams and intuition, and this deity has appeared within the dreams of myself and others. This theology and thus this religion is called somnianism. The dreams themselves offer their own answers, those of which I attempt to recount or analyse in my writing. Whether you choose to believe them is up to you, but know that I have come to see them as the truth. He goes on to say, currently I am compiling all that I have written that pertains to my dreams and all that my dreams have revealed to me into a single piece of writing. And it has proven to be arduous. It will take time, but once it's complete and ready to be read, the floodgates will be opened. So I wanted to know a bit more about what it's all about. When you go on the website, it reads like a sort of scientific research base in a way. You're looking at the homepage and it says, have you seen this symbol? And it shows that symbol which I was telling you about, the 5 dots in a circle, like the 5 on a dice. And it says, if the answer is yes, you're in the right place. This symbol appears in the dreams of what is estimated to be hundreds to several thousands of people, if not more. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but it's quite an interesting concept. I mean, if you have seen this symbol in your dreams, please do let me know, and let them know, because these guys are researching it. And it goes on to say, the past decades have not been without multiple examples of collective dream psychosis regarding a specific object, a face, a symbol, etc. We have been studying this symbol for some time now, and uncovering that there is more to what is seen upon this page than open eyes can perceive. This symbol has revealed things to those acutely attuned to its esoteric nature, which is why we seek them out, dreamers such as you reading this. If you have seen this symbol before in your sleep, be it a passing memory or a burning visage ingrained into your psyche, you have seen it for a reason. They then invite people to contact them, so you can submit your email, which then obviously signs you up for their mailing list. They have an about section which tells you a little bit more about this research team, and it does actually say the DSC is a dedicated research organisation, specialising in expanding our current understanding of a select strain of esoteric science. So this whole thing is built up around the concept that this is a real, genuine organisation that is researching this. At the website itself, it's very simple, it's all white, but it's very easy to navigate. It also has the lyrics or poems on a special section called Verses. So yeah, it has psalms, which I guess is really sort of leading into the religious aspect of this whole lore. And then how they pitch the band as part of it is, it says Promethean is the sonic subsidiary of DSC Research. And their art can be found on all platforms of auditory consumption. So, of course, yes, they are on Spotify, Apple Music, and any other streaming platforms you might want to check out. So, I asked Noel, how did this concept begin? And he said, if by concept you mean the DSC, then my choice to study this realm of esotericism began with those very first dreams, inexplicable visions, near prophetic foresight, experiences so vivid reality became an afterthought. I have seen things, I continue to see things of which explaining to the uninitiated has shown to be futile, entire realms and recurring prophecies too frequent to ignore. So I did ask if all of this is going to be built into the music. And the response was that, if anything, the music is what has been built into this. Artists can draw inspiration from any number of channels, this one happens to be mine. There's a world I've not yet come to fully understand. and most of which I do is not yet ready to be said. What I do know here is that these dreams, this symbol, they are all intimately tied to a faith system that I had never heard of prior to my own dreams. Where this builds from here will be seen in time, but all will be seen. I will make sure of that. Now, if that doesn't excite you, I don't know what will, because I love this kind of stuff. You know, it's mysterious, it's intriguing, it captures your imagination, it makes you question, your own reality a little bit. You're like, is this? You're there going, is this all part of the act, or is this real? You know, what's going on? So it really does intrigue me, this band, and I think they have a lot to sort of bring to the scene, aside from the fact that their sort of leader, if you like, goes by the name of Null. I know absolutely nothing else about this band because they don't want to be known. I did ask, in terms of the band project, is Promethean just you, or do you have other members? And he said, yes, the band is not just me, but the rest of the group prefers to remain anonymous. So, even more mysterious. They do actually have some new music on the way as well, a lot of new music. An EP, which is coming this autumn, and some new singles in the coming weeks. So, if you enjoyed The Knife, I suggest you go and give these guys a follow on Instagram and go and check out their website, because it's really cool, and it does kind of suck you in. And if you have seen this symbol in a dream, then get involved. Send these guys an email. They have an email address on there that you can contact them and let them know that you've seen it. I would love to know if people actually have. And now I feel like when I go to sleep, I'm just going to see it because it's been sort of drilled into my brain. Maybe that's part of it, you know. I feel like I've been sucked in now. I'm part of this cult now. There's no going back. So there we have it, guys. What a way to open up Lore Lockdown with this really intriguing band and concept. So we have Promethean and the DSC Research Project. So you can check them out, like I said, on Instagram, Promethean Band, or on their website, dscresearch.org. And to wrap up this week's Lore Lockdown on Promethean, I'm going to give you an extra little treat. So we already heard The Knife. This is their other single that they currently have out there called Nicotine, so we're going to give that one a spin too. And please watch out for more of their singles and an EP coming very, very soon. These guys have got something intriguing and exciting going on, and I love their music too. So please get involved and support these unsigned bands.
This is the end, let me know. This is the road we made. Just remember my love when I was in your embrace. Would you mind? The hourglass is empty, but I remember that
That was Promethean, who took part in this week's Lore Lockdown. We have a really interesting Lore Lockdown already booked in for next week, so please do keep tuning in. And if you know of any bands or artists who have some really interesting lore or background stories or characters or worlds that they're building up around their music, please do get in touch and let me know so that we can get them on the show. Okay, next up we're back with another song from Neccos For Breakfast. If you remember these guys from earlier in the show, we had a track from them about mental health. This song is called Mass Murderers Anonymous, and Neccos posted about this on the Collaborative Artists Network, which I was telling you about earlier. You can find that at can.streetteam.fm. And he had this to say about the track. This song is part of a special project that Jeff Thomas and I are working on. Jeff Thomas is the guy behind 15 Minutes of Fame. If you're an unsigned artist, you ought to check out his page, actually, which is FM of Music Entertainment. He runs his own blog, he does reviews and things like that. It's useful contact to have if you're an upcoming artist in the independent scene. But anyway, as I was saying, got a little distracted there. We were talking about Mass Murderers Anonymous by Neccos For Breakfast. So he said, this song is part of a special project that Jeff Thomas and I are working on. I've literally been writing it for 20 years, but have never been brave enough to finish or share it until now. So here we have it, folks. It's called Mass Murderers Anonymous.
You're killing me and you're laughing. Of course you're having fun, but something's lacking here in this relationship where I am dying, and your victory will be the death of me. You truly are a master of your trade, an artist with a bow, weapon, and a blade. You leave me longing for the pleasure of the dead, while you call me never dancing in my head. There's a home for your homicidal tendency. Mass murderers anonymous will be confidence, will help you achieve your full potential as a murdering fiend. Will help you achieve your full potential as a murdering fiend. We're mass murderers anonymous. Is a rooftop lunatic. He is night. You're nothing but his pawn, severed goat head. But in the icebox, let you know the fact. The fucking clearly rocks. You truly are a master of your trade. An artist with a double-edged clip of blade. You leave me longing for the pleasure of the dead. Oh, to rip that paper bag up off your head. There's a home for your homicidal tendency. Mass murderers anonymous will be confidence, will help you achieve your full potential as a murdering fiend. Will help you achieve your full potential as a murdering fiend. We're mass murderers anonymous.
shine and see. We got a job to do. We got a job to do. So do it. You're a lunatic, you know it. Violent lunatic, you know it. You're a lunatic, you know it. Oh, Sean's got a place, you can show it. There's a home for your homicidal tendencies. There's a home for your tendencies.
And Neccos For Breakfast, you can find them on YouTube under Necco Records. You can also find them on Instagram, Necco Records. And by the way, it is spelled Necco, Necco Records. So they have an Instagram account at Necco Records, and they have a YouTube. They are not on Spotify, so you will not find them on there. They're one of the artists who are making the move away from Spotify. There are a few people who are doing that at the moment, but you can find them plenty of other places, including on their Can network. So if you like what you heard, you can check them out there. So I am actively looking for artists and bands to be on the show, so if you are interested, drop me an email. Thanks for listening to my first ever Sonic Scout radio show. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you soon. You've been listening to the Master of Mischief on the Outcast Frequency, broadcasting on Sonic Scout Radio worldwide. Thanks for listening, and see you all on next show.